Hey, what's happening, YouTube family? This is Jonathan from Dominion Empowerment Podcast, and I just want to come to you just to say to my fellow veteran soldiers all around the nation that for those of us who have been in the military, got out the military, um, some of us have made some choices that have not been the best. Decisions that have not always worked out the best for us and our families, which has caused a lot of us to feel, behind financially. A lot of us may not be where we want to be. A lot of us may not have all the things that we want to have. Some of us may still, be renting an apartment, don't have a house, don't feel like we are stable. Feel like a failure. Maybe you feel like you let your family down, you let yourself down. The reality is you are not late, you are rebuilding. The purpose of this podcast is to let you know that housing can become and should be the foundation of your wealth building. The purpose of Dominion Empowerment Podcast came about because me being a U.S. Army retired veteran, I didn't learn a lot of the things that I know now, of course, while I was in the military. I knew that I had benefits. I knew that I had access to a VA loan I thought I can only use. Once I got out of the military, I didn't know that I can use it while I was in the military. Things I didn't know. Didn't know how to properly get my credit in order. Was dealing with a lot of things at the time when I initially went into the military. I went in the military at an older age, at 31. Made a lot of bad choices in life. That caused me to be in a place to struggle. So in a place where I was not comfortable, wasn't able to properly take care of my family, and being married, having several kids, and it's like, man, you got to do something that's going to take care of your family. It's going to take care of yourself and be able to provide for everybody. So a decision was made, going to the military. I signed up initially 2001. September 4th, 2001, right a month before I turned 31. And a week later, 9/11 happened. So I remember going back to my recruiter's office and my recruiter telling me, well, you're going to be going to war. There's nothing I can do about it, Was that my plan? Going into the military, looking for a better way of life, and a week later finding out more than likely that I'll have to go to war not too long after getting to my first duty station, which was crazy. But anyway, I already signed up, I already raised my hand, sworn in. But even before I was sworn in, I had this captain from the Marine Corps, and he said, look, man, he said, you're going in here at 30, almost 31 years old. And he told me plainly, he said, look, you better get everything out of Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam is going to get everything out of you. And I took that advice. And that stuck with me for the 4 years that I was in before I got out medical, retired from injuries that I sustained from OIF 2, Iraqi Freedom. But even before that, you're told that you have a certificate of eligibility, a VA loan. You hear these terms and it's like, okay, cool. You don't even know what they mean. You don't understand. I didn't understand for myself. I don't know about anybody else. I won't speak for nobody else, but I speak for myself, is that I didn't even know what it was. I just knew I had access to some benefits. But as time went by, on the time that I was in Iraq and got injured and hurt and coming back and going through med board and, working my way through the process, finding out about, disability benefits and percentages, and had no idea about any of these things. Didn't know what it really meant because nobody fully explained it. I said, hey, just make sure, you claim your VA disability, when you get out. And it's like, okay. There was no process. There's still, I don't know if there's one now, but back when I got out in 2005, there was no process. So as I was transitioning out of the military, getting out, figuring, I had a decent job in the military as a surgical tech, and felt as though I go back to Philadelphia, I'd be able to get a good job and be able to work, be able to take care of myself and my family. And I got out thinking I'm going to make good money because I got all this experience. I got wartime experience doing surgeries over in Iraq. And I remember going to go work for the VA, and they offered me at that time, I think it was like $15.75. And I asked the director, I said, is that the most that I can make? Said, yeah, that's not what you can make starting off, after a year, a couple of years, you can move up to this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, gotta take it. So I took the job, and the job allowed me to gain even more experience, got a chance to learn some new surgeries, things that I didn't do before. And during the process of time while I was there, I met, all the techs that worked there. And then one of the other techs, she had worked for an agency also. And she told me about agency work. And I was like, what's agency work? She said, well, you go sign up with this company, and, they will get you set up to where you can go and work at other facilities, but they pay you a lot more money. Sometimes they can pay, $25, $30 an hour. I was like, okay, awesome. So I signed up for the agency, ended up getting the position to work in sterile processing to help as a consultant, working with a consultant company at Temple Hospital that was working to look to turn around their facility and change things up, how they process their instruments and they wanted somebody to come in that can streamline things. So I had experience of doing that while I was in the military. That was one of the things that I helped to do, a large project that helped to save my unit, millions of dollars. So anyway, as I was in the military, I learned a lot. So it translated over into this new position. And within that new position, it allowed me to make $25 an hour, up from 15. So I got that job. I started the VA hospital in January of 2006. I believe it was September, October, I started working at Temple University Hospital in Philadelphia, PA, making $25 an hour. So that was a $10 increase in pay, which was huge. So had a little bit more money coming in, going through the process of the VA. Had to schedule a sleep study. So I scheduled my sleep study, got that done. That was worth 50%. That's when I initially got out. I think I had back and knees. A few other things, PTSD. So anyway, long story short is I ended up getting more money. And then as I got closer to 100%, then the things that I would file for, I noticed that they were doing everything possible it seemed, to keep me from getting to that 100%. And by this time, 2007, ended up moving with my wife and kids down to Mississippi area, South Haven, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. And as I was down there in Memphis, go to the VA hospital, looking to try and get an increase because my pain was getting worse, knees, back, and they kept denying me. So frustration set in. But as I was sitting there, this older lady and her husband was sitting there, and she came over to me. She was like, how long have you been appealing and going through this process? I said, a couple of years now. She said, whatever you do, don't ever give up. Don't ever stop until you get what you deserve. And that's what I'm here to do today, is to help veterans, soldiers, disabled veterans, homeless veterans, those who are incarcerated, those who are in detox centers, transitioning out of these facilities, to change your life, to get what it is that you deserve, what you were given. I don't like using the word entitled because that carries a negative connotation, for me at least. So I want people to understand that you have somebody that's been through it, that understands, that knows what the process is like with the VA, know that we have all these great benefits, but yet nobody tells us how to use them, how to properly use them. And that's what I aim to do. I want to make sure that we succeed. I want to make sure that we win. I want to make sure veterans win. I want to make sure soldiers understand while you're in the military, and I'm going to talk deeper into it, but just to give you a little idea, is that you can acquire multifamily properties while you're in the military. And house hack those multifamilies and get yourself a quadplex and live in one and rent out the other three and get your BAH every month and live for free. Nobody's going to tell you that, except for me. So I don't want you, for those who are tuning in, to think that there's not a way to rebuild. We all can rebuild. I had to rebuild at 31. I had to start over. And it was okay. Starting over is okay because now I have knowledge, now I have wisdom, now I have insight that I can share with others to make sure that you don't end up like I was or the position I was in at the time, because it's temporary. Everything's temporary. Everything. It's nothing permanent. Life's not permanent. Nothing. It's temporary. We're here temporarily to serve our purpose, to do what we're sent to do, to help other people, which is what I enjoy. I've been doing this since as a little kid. Have always been one to try and help people, help solve problems, because I had so many people that helped me along the way. And it's my way of passing my knowledge down to make sure that others feel comfortable and have an understanding that, hey, this person knows what it is that I'm experiencing, what I'm going through, what I've dealt with. You have a real person, not here for no other personal reason, but to make sure that you succeed at building wealth. That's what Dominion Empowerment Podcast is about, taking over, having dominion. That means having control, being empowered, just like we was in the military. They empowered us to become the best soldiers we could be. They made sure that we had a battle buddy when we were in basic training and that we had to look out for each other. It's what it is now. Should be looking out for one another. We shouldn't be, it's all in this life all about ourselves and selfishness and greed and take, and I'm not helping nobody. I'm not going to share this information because, if you know it, then, you're going to prosper. No. I'm going to share a lot of things with you because I want you to win. It's a lot of people that I've been able to and had the privilege to meet and to come across. Why? Because I put myself out into those spaces. I put myself in those rooms. I put myself on phone calls. And last year alone, at one point, man, I was doing about 4, sometimes 5 phone calls a day, just talking with people, making connections. And just seeing how I can help people and see what they were doing in real estate and investing and business funding and business credit and understanding all of these vehicles that nobody talks about to us veterans. They leave us out. They say they want to remember us. I wonder about that because look at how many veterans are homeless all across the nation. Shouldn't be. Should not be the case. So what I'm looking to do and what I'm actively doing is to provide housing for homeless veterans, for those who are coming out of detox centers, to make sure they have a place to call home. But not only that, I don't want them to just have a place to call home. I want to teach them how to build wealth. I want to teach them how to use their benefits, how to leverage their benefits, how to leverage other people's money, because that is what is very important. And some of the things I want to talk about in this episode are some of the real problems veterans face. A lot of veterans are in survival mode. Constant urgency, reactive decisions, no long-term thinking. You're dealing with things and it's like, you don't have time to think about this, don't have no time to think about that. This is where I'm at. I understand, been there, done that. And it's okay. Because one of the biggest things that we have to do is change our mindset. And when you change your mindset, then you open up the doors and the pathways to being able to do things you never thought possible. I never thought it possible that I'll talk to somebody that's made 100 million, somebody that's made $500 million, and be able to have conversations with people like that. For a little boy who came from Philadelphia, come from the projects, always had big dreams though. Played basketball, one of the top players in Philadelphia, went to college, became a college All-American in basketball, played basketball overseas. That career came to an end. Everything else for me, when my basketball career came to an end, life to me came to an end because basketball was all that I had. And that's how it is for some veterans, is that you being in the military is something, maybe if you went in at a young age, it's all that you had. That's all that you knew. That's all that you thought you were going to be. So an injury may have taken you out of the military, or you retired out of the military. You really didn't know what else you was going to do because you weren't planning, thinking long term. Another problem that a lot of veterans have is not just the misuse of VA benefits, but the lack of understanding of those benefits. What I know now is that the military benefits that they gave us would allow us to build a massive amount of wealth if we knew how to use our VA loan, certificate of eligibility, and your disability benefits. Man, that's a lot. If you knew how to use it the right way while you were in the military, and this is for those active soldiers right now that's going to watch this podcast. While you're in the military, I will show you how to use your certificate of eligibility, what it means, how to get your VA loan, how to make your property profitable, how to teach you how to be a landlord, how to be responsible, how to get business credit, how to use it the right way, how to finance a few years down the road with a DSCR loan, which is a debt service coverage ratio loan, which will allow you to take a loan out on that property at a higher rate than what you paid for. That loan will allow you to pay off the original loan, have a lower interest rate, have money in your pocket to go out and go and do the same process again and again and again Nobody's teaching this. Nobody's teaching in simplicity. And a lot of us have issues with credit, just like I did. Because I didn't understand credit, didn't understand the value of it, didn't understand the purpose of it, didn't know how to use it, nobody was teaching it. Nobody was revealing to me the process, why it was important, how to utilize it, how to properly use it. From my brothers to my father, to those that were close to me, nobody sat around and talked about credit. So anyway, so I got credit cards, I misused them because I didn't understand it. Didn't understand the value, didn't understand the leverage, didn't understand using other people's money. And we're going to talk about all of these important things of how to leverage and use other people's money. Like, what are you talking about? Well, the system is once you learn and understand how money works in this society, in this country, you're going to understand something very valuable that 95% of the people in this country, they have no clue about what's happening. They don't have no clue. They think banks are there to help them. Banks don't do anything but take your money. Once you deposit it and loan it out, charge interest on your money that you deposited, and they pay you nothing back for it. So they're using other people's money to make money, and you should be doing the same thing. But I'm going to teach you also something about what's called infinite banking. I'm going to teach you how to become your own banking system. I'm going to teach you how to partner up with others. Why? Because once you get your credit together, once you have a 700 score or better, show you how to get an LLC, show you how to get an EIN, show you how to properly structure your business so that you can get anywhere from 50K, 100K, up to 250K multiple times throughout the year. That money you can use to therefore go and acquire more properties. What do you mean? Don't I have to go through a bank? No, you don't. You're going to learn to play this game differently. You're going to become a defensive and offensive force. Trust me. Because I want you to understand something. The game is not rigged. You just need to learn the rules. Most of the time, we go on YouTube and we look for information, Instagram, TikTok. You got gurus, you got fake people on there making claims, saying all kinds of things. I have, unfortunately, but I'll share my story because it's worth sharing. Join mentorships, pay a lot of money, $1,000 of money. And these programs are not set up for you to succeed, man. They're set up for you. They're set up to just make money off of you, not to really teach you everything that you need to succeed. My job, my goal, my dream, my thoughts is to make sure that everybody who comes in contact with this channel, that you're going to learn how to go out, acquire properties using not the bank's money. You're going to learn how to use other people's money from the banks, but you're going to learn how to do things the right way. I'm going to show you how to establish relationships with these banks. You're going to understand who Experian pulls from. You're going to understand TransUnion, who they pull from, what banks. You're going to understand what banks Equifax pulls from. You're going to understand all these things. The problem out here is a lot of get-rich-quick schemes. Even to this day, people are still falling for it because everybody wants things quick. They want it fast. You can't build a house fast. You have to build a foundation. You don't have no stability. You're not building upon anything. You're building upon guesswork. You're building upon a hope and a dream and possibilities and all the things that people sell you on. I've been there, and like I said, I done been there, done that. I done spent tens of thousands of dollars over the years. Just, anyway, countless amounts of money wasted on things I thought would help to get me to where I wanted to be. So let me put it to you this way. Most veterans, they are not failing because they lack discipline. They failing because they lack structure. And when you lack structure, when you lack a proper foundation, you're setting yourself up to fail. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that you win and that you don't fail. I just want to go over a few more things and bring this to a close. What it is I'm looking to do on Dominion Empowerment Podcast is to make sure to help people stabilize housing. Make sure you have safe, structured living, responsible budgeting, and that you develop a routine. By developing a routine, by getting things systemized, organized, properly structured, you set yourself up for stable housing. I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of connections. I have access to business funding. I have access to real estate investing funding. I'm also an AI consultant, so it's a lot of things that I can do in that space that can help you with marketing and positioning yourself to capture leads and to structure and set up your website properly and build out an AI receptionist that can answer calls, book appointments, can do so much. We're going to talk more and more as every episode goes by. Need credit repair? We can help you fix your credit. Why? Because we want you to win. I've won. I've come from what everybody calls the bottom, coming from the projects, to living a pretty nice life, living in the suburbs in one of the most up-and-coming neighborhoods out here in the Houston area. Don't mean anything. I worked to get here. I had to work smart. I had to get information. I had to build a proper foundation. I had to do things to position myself for success. And I want y'all to be able to do the same thing. One of the biggest things I want you to do, those who are listening to this podcast, is that I want you to lower your utilization on your credit cards. I want you to start paying these things down. Stop emotional spending. Know your real numbers of where you are. Because each podcast is going to build upon the other to where you are going to be able to go out. Once everything is properly structured, go out and get these properties that are all over the nation. Land development opportunities, multifamilies, everywhere. There's so much opportunity, but I can't talk about it all in this one podcast. Biggest thing is getting educated before buying. One thing I did not do was get properly educated about the VA loan system of how to use it. One thing I didn't do was get properly educated before about my certificate of eligibility. Oh, just go on, VA.gov and go get your certificate of eligibility and make sure you have your entitlement. And nobody explained the entitlement. Nobody talked about how it's used, how it's structured, what it's for. I'm going to talk about it and discuss all of those things and break it all down in simplest terms. And I'm going to provide resources for you so that you have it available so that you can look at it, please look at it, and use it the right way. Understand how to go out and acquire multifamilies responsibly. Understanding how to comp these multifamilies. Understanding how to properly leverage the multifamily. I'm not going to talk about it on this episode. But what I'm going to show you is powerful. It's very powerful. Because once you see this system and understand how to do this, you're going to be like, oh, let's get out here and build wealth. Let's build a legacy. You're going to understand how to protect your money also. Because you're going to need to understand tax strategies. You have to. You got to understand holding companies. You going to learn about what a trust company is and how to properly position everything so that your business is set up to succeed. One of the last things I want to talk about is mindset. You don't have the proper mindset for anything. You set yourself up for failure. If you're negative, nothing ever works for me, blame everybody else, don't take responsibility, accept where you are, understand that you have to do what's necessary to change your life. Mindset is one of the biggest things that I'll be talking about every episode. Because your mind has to be right. Because you're going to have so many negative people coming around you. You have to protect your peace. You're going to have to audit your circle. You're going to have to audit the people that are around you. Because everybody's not going to want you to go out here and do what it is that I'm going to be showing you. How are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? And what if this happens and what if that happens? What we're doing is we're not going out here just haphazardly hoping for something to happen, hoping for something to fall in our laps, hoping that I get business credit. No, everything's strategic. Just like when we was in the military, we learned strategy. What they call it was being strategic. I'm 6'7", about 280 pounds, and I can sneak up on people and they can't even hear me sneaking up on them. And they're like, how somebody as big as you can walk so quietly? I said, because the military taught me a strategy of even how to walk on leaves and not make noise. When you got a strategy, you become dangerous. You can maneuver a certain way. You have a blueprint, and it's repeatable. This is all repeatable. And guess what? Nobody's going to tell you, you done made enough money. Nobody's going to tell you your portfolio was too big. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, you have too many businesses. You're helping too many people. You're getting too many homeless veterans off the street. You're teaching too many veterans to become wealthy. I don't worry about negative people. Been dealing with negative people from the time I was a kid. You'll never make it out of the projects. You're not good enough at basketball. You don't work hard enough. You're too skinny. You're too this. You're too that. To me, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. And one thing you have to do to be resilient in this life and to stop letting everybody affect you in your mental state is worrying about what everybody feel and think about you. Because everybody's not concerned about you. Everybody don't have your best interests. Everybody's not thinking about what's best for Jonathan. What can we do to help him? I have so many people. How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? Oh, you gotta do this. Why you gotta do that? When I became a surgical tech, I wanted to become the very best. Because of something that my dad shared with me. He said, son, this was when I was like 12, 13 years old. He told me, he said, when you go out here and be the very best at what you do. Become great. Don't become average, because there's enough average people out here. You're not meant to be average. And the reason why the great ones become great, because they have a different mindset than the average people or the average person. The average person limits or place limits upon themselves, and I don't place limits upon myself. Because as scripture clearly and plainly states, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Let that marinate for a little bit. As you think you are, that's what you are. You thought it. Somebody said it, you conceived it, you took it in, you gave birth to it, you nursed it, you played around with the baby, caused it to grow up and kept feeding it. Don't take on other people's negativity. Just don't. Because what you have to do is that you got to evaluate where you are right now. That's what's important. Evaluate where you are. Pull your credit reports. Know where you are. Don't guess. Write down your monthly expenses. See where you are financially. See where you can make extra money. I'm going to teach you some other things to show you how to be able to make some extra money. I can show you and teach you how to become an AI consultant also. Like I said, so much information. Can't give it all away in one episode. But I'm excited about this because I know so many people are going to win. I know so many people are going to, your lives are going to be changed. You got to learn the VA rules properly. You got to learn about owner occupancy. You got to learn about timelines, responsibilities. And that way we're going to work to build out a 90-day stability plan for you. And I'm going to talk about and teach you how to do all of these things. Because I want you to win. I want you to be successful. It's time to take the guesswork out of this thing. And it's time to make it plain and simple for you to take action and to follow. There's strategies to everything. There's strategies to marketing. There's strategies that are being used on us every day to get us to be consumers, to buy, to move to a certain place or attain a certain status, drive a certain car, buy certain jewelry, handbag, use soap, products, you name it. Let's learn these things so we know how to use them the right way. Because some will, some won't. What do I mean by that? Some will take this information and they will use it. And some won't. It's just the nature of how it is. When I used to train people on the basketball court, train other basketball players, I would let them know, hey, you got to do these drills an hour a day on your own. Oh, okay, yes, I'll do them. Come back, we on the court, going through the drills, and I can tell that they didn't work on a drill. How could I tell? Because I know through repetition, you can't do nothing but get better at doing the right thing. Here's the other part about it. You can get bad at something by that repetition, also by doing the wrong thing. Some will not. They just won't do it. They want easy, which I'm here to make it easy, but does it take some work? Of course it will. You have to work. You got to put some time in. You got to do some reading. I'm giving you a free ebook that explains the certificate of eligibility. Thoroughly read the book. There's other free materials that I'll be giving out. Read them. Use them. Look at the PowerPoints. Look at what it is that I'm showing you so that you understand, hey, there's a strategy. There's a blueprint. Let me just do what others have done. Since I'm a basketball player, still at heart, I had a lot of players that I admired, wanted to be like. Favorite players. Allen Iverson is one of my favorite players. Michael Jordan, one of my favorite players. Charles Barkley, one of my favorite players. Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite players. And it's amazing how many people, LeBron James, great player. Kevin Garnett, great players. Steph Curry, great, love him. But what's the common theme that they share? Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I can keep going on. I don't have no just one. Well, Allen Iverson to me is my all-time greatest player, favorite player. And I'll explain why in a second. But what I'm getting at is that they all have something. They had that dog in them. They had that fight. And one of the things that a lot of people say nowadays, Tracy McGrady, I'm just thinking about all these great players, and because I love different aspects of their game and what they brought to the game. Vince Carter, like everybody brought something unique. Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But they learn from those who came before them. See, here's something that's crazy. Michael Jordan, people say, and I can agree with what they're saying, and I see the reason why. The greatest basketball player of all time, right? But yet when people mention Kobe modeling himself after Michael Jordan, he didn't just model himself after Jordan. That's the only one that people talk about. He learned from Charles Barkley. He learned from Allen Iverson. He learned from Dr. J. He learned from all of these great people and added that to his game. But yet people talk about Kobe and say, oh, he thought he was Jordan. But nobody ever says Jordan thought he was Dr. J. I told you, there's always going to be somebody with a negative comment. There's always going to be somebody who's going to talk about you as you're striving for greatness, as you're putting the work in, as you're getting up early, as you're doing the things that you need to do every day, as you're learning about the VA loan program, as you're learning about how to get your proper VA disability benefits and how to leverage it and how to use it. You're understanding how to use a certificate of eligibility. There's always going to be somebody talking about you. Oh, they just think they such and such. Learn from the previous ones. Learn from the people who have already done it. Because what you bring to it is an original. You are the only you that's been made. There's no competition, as Myron Golden says. What competition? I don't have any competition. It's only one Jonathan Dunmeyer that was made. I may have other people that look like me, but I'm the only one. I'm the original. I'm not competing against nobody. I'm not competing against anybody else that's teaching this. I'm not competing against anybody on YouTube. I'm going to do the very best that I can be and do to help as many people as I can to change and impact lives, change people's futures, change people's attitudes, mindsets. I'm not going to change them. I'm going to give you the tools to help you to change them, because you got to do the work to change yourself and to build out a legacy for your family. It's going to last a lifetime, because you're going to learn something that most people is not going to give you this information. But there's few people out there that give you the information. But you got to sit there and consume the content. You got to sit there and take it in. There's a lot of people I watch on YouTube. A lot. Bella Sloan Academy with Herman, Dolce Jr. Amazing. Myron Golden. Amazing. Carlton Dennis, Tax Alchemy. Amazing. Stead waiters, amazing. Doug Washington, amazing. It's a whole list of folks. I can keep going on and on and on, but I'll be here all day. I'm learning from the greats. So I'm going to be, in order to be great, I got to learn from the greats. And with learning from the greats, I got to do what the greats do. You can't just talk about it. And that's what a lot of people want to do. They just want to talk. They don't want to apply. They don't want to execute, as Herman says. They don't want to show receipts. They don't want to show proof. I'll show proof in my neighborhood, walk around. What does it mean? It don't mean anything. Oh, you made it. Made it to what? It's just a stage in my life, man. I want to help and change people's lives. That's the impact I'm looking to have. I've made millions of dollars just from my job, by understanding how to leverage myself and use a system in a way that most people didn't do. I put them onto the game of how to go out and make, as a surgical tech, how to make $100,000. I told them how to do it. Did they do it? They complain about their money. They complain about not having enough. I gave them the game and told them what to do. Within my one healthcare system that I was working in, told them, you're able to go to other hospital facilities and work at other facilities. And when you work at those other facilities, you are not being paid straight time. You're going to be paid overtime. Are you going to take the game and use it? Or are you going to talk about, ain't nobody telling me, ain't nobody showing me? I'm here to show you, here to tell you, here to reveal it to you. You got to take it and use it. You got to take it and do something with it. You got to take it and run with it. You got to take it, absorb the information, and make it become a part of you. Being great is not easy. That's why we have the 1%. That's why they have those of people like myself that's only in the 1% of gross earners worldwide. How did a little kid from East Falls Projects end up being placed, putting himself in a position to be in the top 1% of wealth earners in the whole world? Because I learned from other people. I read books. I applied myself. I made mistakes, a lot of mistakes, wasted a lot of money. Oh my goodness. But it's okay. Because just like I said at the beginning, you're not late. You're just rebuilding. So let's rebuild. Tear down the old you and let's build up the new you. Because the new you is going to shake up the world. It's going to shake up your family's world. They're going to be like, who is this person? Why are they talking like that? Who gave you permission to talk like that? That's not how we talk. It's not how we do it. It's not what we do up in here. Man, I've heard all kinds of things, trust me. Friends, family members, co-workers, I've heard it all. But the difference that I hear from those who are making tens of millions, hundreds of millions, $500 million, billions of dollars, you know what I hear from them? Hey, do this, do X, Y, Z in this order, and this is the result that you will get every time. Why? Because this is what we have been doing all of these years. Huh? Yeah. Do this, acquire this property, use it this way, use this kind of loan to cash out, to refinance, take that money, acquire another property, and do it over again. Now, that's off of just one property. What happens when you got 5 properties, 10 properties, 20 properties? I hope y'all get this. Hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'm here to help. If you want to book a call with me, my calendar link should be down in the description. You can check out my website, myeliteinvestors.com, so you get an idea about what it is that we offer, what we do, what we provide. You can look at Crown Dominion AI. It's one of my most enjoyable projects that I'm experiencing right now, because it's a way to help people. It's a way to help business owners to be able to keep them from losing money every month. Powerful, just powerful. Being an AI consultant is awesome. I've always been like a coach all my life, so that's just what's in me. So I just coach people, I teach people, I consult people. I just do what it is I've been gifted to do. It's what I was sent here to do. I'll talk about on another episode about, like I said, I wasn't even supposed to be born and be here, but that's for another conversation at another time, as about 50-something minutes into this video. But yeah, just check out the links below. Get the free ebook, Understanding How to Use Your COE. And I'll be sharing more resources with you. I'll be doing some live things on here as well, to where, we'll go through the VA website, show you what to look for, how to understand things that most people don't talk about, don't share, don't reveal, how to understand the importance of your VA disability benefits. It's tax-free money. Y'all losing out on, anyway, you're losing out on a lot of money, a lot of opportunities, a lot of benefits that come with it. So until next time, this is Jonathan from Crown Dominion AI, one of my businesses, from My Elite Investors, one of my businesses. But the most important business that I'm here with you today is the Million Empowerment Podcast. We're going to make history. We're going to change a lot of people's lives. Just get the word out. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. Don't forget to comment. I'll read the comments. Don't forget to like this video. And most importantly, share this video with other veterans, soldiers, those who are in the military, that are locked up, detox centers, wherever they are. Share this video, because somebody needs this information, and you will be the one that will be responsible to help change and transform their lives. Until next time, y'all take care.